I Don't Get It
Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the I Don't Get It podcast. This is Naz.
This is Lauren.
This is Ashley.
And this is...
Yamil, Naz'S Dad. Hello, everyone.
Wait, you know what's so funny is I don't even know Naz'S Dad's actual name. It's just Naz'S Dad all the time.
Yeah.
What's your name?
What's your name, Dad? She just asked you.
Yamil.
So the Y, it's Y-A-M-I-L, but the Y is strong, right? It's not a meal.
Right.
I actually didn't even know this till like 2 days ago. I was like, Dad, what's your preference? Is it a strong Y? Because people call you both, right?
Right. And they call me other names, too.
What would a soft Y be?
No, it would just be silent. A meal.
A meal.
Okay,
Yamil.
Yeah.
Yamil?
Yamil.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just gonna say Naz'S Dad,
Yeah.
Mr. Perez.
Yeah.
He's just Mr. Perez.
Naz'S Dad's great. Okay, guys. So my dad is here, and he is written. I told him he was going to be on the podcast. Well, say hello to them first, Dad.
Well, first I want to say congratulations to Ashley and Jared
Oh, thank
on
you.
their pregnancy and to Lauren on your engagement. Good for you.
Oh, my God.
And
this
thank
is the
you for
sweetest
having us. Thank you for having me. The last time I was here, this is your 238th podcast. Congratulations on your success. I think you guys provide a tremendous community service and information, location, a place where people can feel comfort and get a lot of information from, and it does me a lot of good. So I remember when I was first invited, you had, I think, one of the best. I think it's one of the best ones. It was, I think, number 46 or 36. And it dealt with aviation. And since my background was in aviation, the two previous people you had ahead of me, were both involved in an aviation accident.
All right,
and
Dad,
I thought it was so good and rich.
All right. He tends to ramble a little bit, Dad. We're starting to
love
love
it.
we got
We do here. We ramble.
Yes.
And
Now-
he just brought back the memory of that episode that I completely forgot about. That was crazy. People who had been involved in plane crashes and survived.
What did we ask you again, Dad? We asked you how a plane crash works or something?
Yeah, you
How
asked.
probable it was.
Oh, how probable it was.
Right, and I remember mentioning that there is statistically a 95% survival rate in most aviation accidents, and the strongest part of an aircraft is over.
Talking to the mic,
is
Dad.
over the wing area. It's called the box.
I
It's the
remember you
strongest part.
saying that. And I always try to get over the wing when I do decide my own seat.
And then the conversation, as I recall,
all right.
Never mind.
Dad, we have
Maddie, let your dad ramble. This is where you get your rambling abilities
I
from.
know, but it's we have so much to discuss. I don't want everyone to like rehash an episode we've already done, if that makes sense.
I just want to know, Mr. Perez, if you listen to a lot of our episodes or only the ones you're on.
Yes, only the ones I'm on.
That's really great for me. Okay, Dad. So my dad has come. I've been watching you. I have no idea what's on this list, but you've been writing down a list of I don't get it's while you've been here. So please regale us with your list. What's number one on the list?
Well, it's not a major thing.
You
but
have to start off with saying I don't get.
Well, I don't get why there's so much hair on the bathroom floor. And women, I think, shed more. Now, I understand it might be because of their length, but you just finish cleaning the house, and then 10 minutes later, there's all this hair. What's the point of cleaning? I don't get it.
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, obviously, living with two very dark-haired, long-haired women, I feel like you know this the most. You know, like you don't even notice when a blonde hair falls out, but if you have a strand of dark, thick hair, it is everywhere just because you can see it.
So true.
Yeah, my dad, I feel like growing up, Mom and I's hair was everywhere.
That's true. It still is. And I'm the one doing the cleanup.
No, wait a second. Mr. Perez, with me, I find that my husband's body hair, like his chest hair and his leg hair and his arm hair, that is what's more all over the bathroom.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know people shed that hair.
There's
always
pubes
thought it was
everywhere.
just the head hair.
I don't even think they're just pubes. I think it's body hair. It's not all coming from that area, Lauren.
I remember going into Dad's bathroom and seeing pubes, but I guess they're like leg hair too. It could be leg hair, chest hair, and I was so thoroughly disturbed.
It's disgusting. Yeah, Dad, actually, I would counter your I don't get it with, I think when I go into bathrooms of like guys I'm on dates with, or like even Chris's bathroom, there's always beard hair in the sink that's everywhere, and it looks like little ants.
Yeah, that's true.
Like
how many
tile?
guys' bathrums do you go into?
Dad,
Like,
I know.
That's not what we're talking about right now.
Okay, but
You
anyway.
offer that information up, though, Naz.
Yes, you opened that can.
First of all, my dad, he was so sad the other day that I am like alone. He's like, I know you love, and I know you want to be. And I'm like, Dad, I'm happy. I'm thriving. I'm single. I feel like your generation, I actually realize with you being here how much your generation has like codependent relationships. Like, I don't know how you would survive without Mom. And I don't know how Mom would survive without you.
That's true. Now, Mom would survive without me.
You think she would?
Well, I just...
our parents' relationship, we definitely think that our dad could not survive without Mom.
Right?
But that my mom could live a couple more years without my dad.
Yeah, I think we've proven that women can like be on their own.
Well, they can, of course, and men can be on their own. But all three of you have chosen a beautiful, wonderful value path to be with a partner for the rest of your life, and that's a wonderful thing.
What if I never got married? Would you be sad?
Well, you don't stop being my daughter because you didn't get married.
Yeah, but would you be sad if I like just...
No, not at all, as long as you're content.
Oh, well,
That's
that
the
changed
important-
because you were like really upset that I didn't like
Oh,
have
it's not
someone.
an upset. It's that every parent wants to see some minimalistic,
Talking to the
duplication,
mic, Dad.
expectation of what your life will turn out to be. So
Why do you think I'm single?
I think it's a combination of a lot of variables. Number one, you're very, very focused, very headstrong. You do, I think, and this may come from Mom and Dad, and we're sorry we put it in you, but I think you do in 1 hour what it takes most people 10 hours to do.
Why would that be a reason why I'm single?
Well, I think the compression of time, the hyperactiveness, the obsession to get everything accomplished and have it all perfect, I think it's part of your, makeup.
But
it's how you're wired.
Can I just say, because and I don't get it, that I had is I realized, and I don't know if you guys are like this with your parents, but I'm different around you than I would be around a romantic partner.
Obviously.
I'm like more easily agitated with you.
Well, it's because you have
yeah.
a comfort level with your parents. You've been with them so long. Just like in a long-term marriage, you get to the point where you're comfortable, where you can say possibly injurious things that you wouldn't dare say to a perfect stranger. You
Oh,
just
they're
haven't
not going
achieved
anywhere.
that.
Yeah, I like that word, injurious. All right, enough of
No,
crucifying
I
me.
like this. Wait, he had a number of things. This is interesting.
Yeah, there's only one.
Guys, we're
Let's hear
going
number
to go
two.
down the list. What else is
No,
your
Naz,
item?
I think that people are going to really like this.
Oh, okay. What did you want to hear more about that, Ashley?
Yeah, because he said that there was a number of things, and we just hit one.
Oh, okay.
She's so sharp.
Why else? No, that's another I don't get it I have. My dad, everything I do, he's like, you're so sharp. You're so sharp. I'm like, no, Dad, this is the average cognitive ability of the average
No,
person.
Naz, that is incorrect.
Lauren, it is not incorrect. My dad, I'll literally put on the Apple TV and he'll be astounded. How did you do that? I'm like, Dad, everyone knows how to do this. Even setting up the podcast, like in our generation.
Sure, you're a product of this technological times. Remember, all of you, and including me, we're a product of the crossover. We didn't have this. I mean, when I was around, we still had tubes and record players, which are now having a revival. But we also went home to gather our thoughts, and then we would go out. There was no such thing as this economy or compression of time where everyone just communicates in real time, say, well, pick up a gallon of milk or
True.
juice, and then you don't, it's so efficient but it also lends itself to non-community. So
That makes me sad because I feel like I get all my thoughts out right when I have them, and then when I go to have actual physical interactions with people, I have nothing left in the tank. Nothing left. And then I just seem like I'm boring, but I'm like, no, I already told you the important things over text or
wow, that's a
Zoom or
very
something.
good point. That's an excellent point. Sure, I think the social aspect is important, vital to human existence. My wife and I were reading about the second president, John Adams' wife. Everyone would gather around the table at the end of dinner, and they would play songs on the piano. And this is how they spent their evening.
Now you're speaking
So
Ashley and
it
Lauren's
was
language. Presidents.
So this value was
Abigail Adams, very good woman.
Abigail.
See, they know everything
know.
about
They're good.
history. Like you, I
They're
know
good.
nothing.
And she was the cement that held the family together. She supported her husband. But this value of having music was transgenerational. It was passed on. People now separate when they finish dinner. So I think the cohesion of having something
You're
to
using a lot of
hold on
big
to.
words today, Dad.
7 letters at least.
Wow.
So I think that's vitally important, and some of that has been lost. Now, the countervailing argument is we are better off, we're more efficient, we get to communicate a lot more. There is a holistic global communication. Something happens on one side of the earth, we know it right away, something that may affect us. And that's a very valuable thing. That's a beautiful thing. But what I'm saying is we are in the most incredible times ever. Think about it. 117 years ago, we have powered flight. Today, it's commonplace. We see aircraft everywhere. And 100 years ago, people moved by sail, by foot, or by animal. And today, I mean, it's only happened in our recent history, our generation. Think about that.
I know, that's a huge I don't get it. That's like
Yeah.
mind-boggling.
It really is. My dad, when we were moving, we were driving to my new apartment, and my dad's like, the fact that we all have running hot and cold water is insane.
That was the thing of kings.
Like
They used to
kings
come
only
in-
had hot water.
You have
The
electricity.
shit we take for granted, you know?
It
Like
is,
everyone
it is.
complains about the smallest things, and it's like, let's just be happy that we can fly to a new state and then have like a hot bath. You know,
Right, and
literally, why can't we just be happy about
and
it?
order burgers off the couch?
All right, Lauren and I, of course, love Caribbean vacations. It just defines our childhood. And now we get to talk to you guys about cheapcaribbean.com, which has been around for over 20 years, and they're in the business of providing the best all-inclusive beach vacations. And when we mean all-inclusive, we mean all you can eat, all the alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages, as well as beach and night activities. They're included when you book at cheapcaribbean.com.
That's insane that the activities are even included. Like I can
It
see
is.
like food, alcohol, and like non-alcoholic beverages, but like beach and night activities. And
A lot of the times it's not alcohol included too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So all inclusive means that you get more food, more drinks, and more fun. And Cheap Caribbean has no change fees when you book at Cheap Caribbean Resort, and they have trip protection, so you can actually book with confidence. So less money, less worry, more beach.
Be sure to check out either a Dreams or Secrets resort when you book with Cheap Caribbean. And right now you can get $100 off your next beach vacation. Like, why would you not want $100 off a vacation when you visit cheapcaribbean.com/IDGI-podcast?
Okay, Ashley wants to know another reason why you think I'm single.
Oh, as I mentioned, it's a variety of things. I think your work ethic is very good, but you're so focused that you spend all of your time perfectioning everything you do. You have about 5 or 6, maybe 7 fishing lines
I
in
don't
the
know.
water.
Why is that
so at the same
but
time?
Why would that be a reason?
Well, because it takes up a lot of your time to do it all well. You don't have a single source or a single project. You're working on a
but
multiplicity
I would
of
give
projects.
up that space and time when I meet the right person.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a wonderful thing on the internet said why they never called back, and one of the things is
What is it? A poem? What is that?
it's a list. It's a list, a checklist why they never called back. And one of the things, of course, is incompatibility. They don't like you, but people use ghosting. They just never even tell you off anymore. They just disappear.
I know, isn't that,
But
isn't
one
that
of-
crazy?
Yeah, that's
Did people ghost back in the day?
No. They would write letters, physically writing letters to people.
No, I feel like ghosting was probably easier back then because you just wouldn't
You
call
didn't have
someone's
the
house
media.
phone.
You didn't have the communication medium to
Yeah,
do it.
It's much easier to lie and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I got caught up in this," or "I lost your phone number," because
Sure.
it's not saved.
Sure,
You know,
very good, yeah. Now, some of it is necessary. Psychologists call it the social grease. It's absolutely necessary. You can't be 100% truthful all the time. For example, if a young man called while Naz was living at home and she didn't want to speak to him, she's in the shower right now. Those are necessary little bleeps, little lies. They're not necessarily terrible sins, but you do that to not hurt the person. Well, in today's world, people just cut you off without even letting you know. They just simply never call back. But one of the reasons, and to answer your question, is because I think some men fear your work, your success.
So you think it's an inadequacy issue on the male's part?
I'm not going to blame only them. I'm just saying it's one piece of a larger puzzle. It's the whole composite of things. You have a job. You obviously earn income. Some men may fear that if they're not at that level.
Cool. Great.
So it just hurts
This
their
is
ego.
awesome for me.
Do you ever wonder if Naz is like expecting too much perfection from men?
What a valuable, beautiful point. Good for you. I have always said.
This is so subjective.
I have always
Amazing
said.
podcast we've ever done.
Actually, it is not. I have to say, I have wanted you guys to all meet in person so bad.
This is my
So
favorite podcast, and we're only 15 minutes in.
It makes me so happy you guys are all meeting over Zoom.
I have always
finally.
said that a father and mother, we make it up. We don't have a rule book. We learn from our parents, and we pass on what we think we're doing right. But one of the things that I realized after spending time with Naz, as an adult functioning herself on her own, is that in our attempt to do good, we may have overwhelmed in the obsessive compulsive. Everything had to be perfect. And it becomes part of the wiring of the person. So we as parents are responsible not only for the good, but some of the bad that went in. And some of the things that we don't realize until long after they've happened and we look back.
But you and I discovered on this trip of you visiting me a lot of things. So like I told you guys my dad was very smothering growing up. Mm-hmm. And just almost like too much. I think too much of anything is not a great thing, right? Mm. I think I'd rather have more love than no love, obviously. Right. Yep. But then we learned on this trip that your mom didn't give you any love. So you vowed that when you were going to have kids, you were going to shower them with it.
Right.
I think that's what built my anxious attachment.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. She was a persona that was
your mom,
a quasi-famous actress, right? Carmen Perez. She sang with Nat King Cole in 1957 in Caracas, Venezuela. And she had, she was a comedian, a dancer, an actress. But the point is that she was a disciplinarian.
How did we not know this?
Because I need to fact check this. My dad just says what he wants to say. I don't know.
I have the photos.
Nat King Cole.
No,
and
I have
of course
the
now we know where you get your performance like dramatics from.
I think for sure I have, but until I see a photo or hear a song with her with Nat King Cole, I don't know.
I'll just go into my Facebook and you'll see them all there.
No, I don't have Facebook, Dad, really. But
anyway. Your mom is there in black and white, and she was on Channel 4, Canal 4 in Venezuela. The point is that it was my dad that...
so everyone knows, I love my dad. I'm not being mean. I just want us to get through everything. And I think you have a tendency of just going on and on.
I agree with that.
Okay.
So we can have him on for numerous episodes.
Let's not throw that out
Part
there.
1.
Okay. So, Dad, I think you were saying...
Yeah. That overwhelming love. In other words, I hugged you. I was there with the first bike ride. I made sure your backpack was on correctly. I made sure you were walking across the street. I had binoculars, to see you down the street. But I would give you a lot of rope. We had this little device that was...
I don't know about a lot of rope. So from my perspective, you are, I don't know. I don't want to say neurotic. Someone called me out for saying that I'm OCD, and I actually like that they called me out. I'm not OCD. I Googled the real definition of it, and it's when your obsessiveness gets in the way of like practical things that you want to do in life. So I shouldn't have said I'm OCD. But I think you have a neuroses towards like safety. So like when I rode bike, I had to wear a reflector jacket around
very
embarrassing.
Very embarrassing.
Even in Halloween, she wore a reflector.
Like it was
Halloween.
just too
Over the
much.
costume.
That ruins the costume.
It's like
That's
when
so funny.
I learned when I went to Esalen, and this is a nature versus nurture thing, but when a child's like riding a bike and he falls off the bike, the child actually doesn't know how to react. They look to the parent and mirror that reaction. Yeah. And so if the parent's like, you're fine, you're okay, like get back on the bike, then like that's sort of how you socialize and build like how you react to like things in life.
Very true.
My dad was like, oh my God, we have to go to the hospital. Ah, oh my God, are you okay? And it's like, no wonder... In the best, obviously, Dad, I love you, and you were doing the best you can, and I don't think any parent's perfect, but I think that's why I built this like anxiety and like panic.
I agree. That's exactly what I mean.
When things go wrong,
right? Like you're always concerned that something's going to go wrong on like E-News or something.
Yeah, like
what
you
happens,
know,
like,
you guys know.
Like, what will happen is you will get up the next day and no one's going to notice but you.
Right,
you know?
right. And I've worked on it, which is great, but I think. Yeah. Anyways, a lot of breakthroughs we've made.
Your mom and I do that now. She'll scream and I'll run in and she'll say, "Oh, the rice just burned,"
You guys are literally insane. Anyways, okay, what else do you have on your I don't get it list?
Well, I was in the Grove and I just wanted to know why all the girls look the same there. They're all thin and skinny and they have coffee or their dog in their hand. Don't they work? I don't get it.
We're driving around LA and my dad's like, every girl looks the same and no one works here. He's like, literally every time we get in the car, what everyone
do people do
Does
here?
anyone work?
So when you're out and about in Florida, there's no one there from 9 to 5 because they're working?
It's 107 index, so yes, no one.
You're not out.
No, it's
People
also
cutting the
senior
grass.
citizens. My dad's like he's like, there's so
all
many
the people
young
here are
people here.
young.
And I'm like, you live in Florida. Everyone's over 75.
That makes sense.
Yes.
The thing about LA is that people like don't have 9 to 5 jobs, so they like do things during the day.
That's so
it's a different
true.
schedule.
That's so true. That's so true.
What else do the girls look like? Like what's their face looks like, or just like what they're wearing?
No, what they're wearing. I mean, everyone here is stunning, like you folks. They're beautiful.
you folks.
You know, it's a candy store. But you're right. I don't see a lot of elderly people. I don't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of miss seeing
kids.
I actually miss seeing old people just because I grew up around them so much. Like, I actually really like seeing, like, older people around. I don't know. It makes me feel, like, safe. I don't know if it's because, like, I grew up. Yeah, it's, like, comforting.
It's like
go
there
to
are
a
people
diner.
older than you.
Yeah, we should go to a diner tomorrow, Dad.
You should.
So, if you guys want to work on all the generational trauma that you got from your parents, like I have, we have to talk to you guys about BetterHelp, and we've talked about them almost every podcast. It is one of my favorite sponsors because I feel like in the last year and a half, a lot of people have been doing some reflecting. A lot of people have taken time to sort of work on themselves, but most importantly, a lot of people are just going through a lot. So if you want to talk to someone, BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches. So they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need. Basically, it's a website where you can go and get connected to a therapist. And the service is available for clients worldwide. They have a broad range of expertise available. So whether it's depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, which means like with a romantic partner, with your parents, with a friend, grief, family conflicts, anger, self-esteem, all of that. They have licensed professional counselors who specialize in it. So it's a great resource to use. And if you don't believe me, check out the testimonials posted daily on their website.
I just want to let you guys know that I woke up last week really, really depressed for some reason, and by the end of the night, I was already matched with the therapist. So it's really fast if you're like really looking for some help. And in fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states.
So we want you guys to start living a happier life today. And as a listener, you're going to get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/getit. Join over 1 million people taking charge of their mental health at betterhelp.com/getit. That is betterhelp, HELP.com/getit.
All right, what else?
So, reading books. I think younger people should read books. And I'm talking about holding a book, the texture, turning a page. I think that's so crucial. I think that's so important because you get involved in the words and the sentence structure rather than a flashing of a blue light on a screen or some quib, something really quick. I think we're too short-minded. There was a book written in 1998, Faster. The subtitle was The Ever Acceleration of Everything in the World. And everything we know is very, very compressed now. But I think it's essential for people to just take time to do something, to read a book. Here's a continuation of that thought. I think independent of gender and independent of culture, every person should have minimalistic basic skills. And parents have to be the responsible ones to put it into their children. For example, sewing. I think threading a needle is such a beautiful task. Cooking, something. You don't have to be a chef with a show. Cooking, ironing. In the service, in the military, we were required to iron to such a precision. Let me give you this thought, which is an amazing...
I don't know how to do any of that
starch,
stuff.
the amount of starch... It would have to be soaked, the pants, and then there would be a blade. When you ironed them, you would have to rip them apart when you put your pants in it. That's how much starch was in it. You would soak. Things like that.
They
Speaking
could stand
English.
up on their own.
Wait, I have a why do you think people need to know how to sew and iron when that's like we have steamers now? You can go to a tailor.
Yeah, I just think it's a lost art. Cooking is important. Speaking English, at least minimalistically. But sewing, to put on a button, it takes just a few minutes. But I think it's just something precious that is being lost. You know,
Now
if we
he's
don't do
targeting you because
I know.
you don't
I feel
cook and
so.
you don't sew.
I literally feel so attacked right now.
No, simple math, computer.
First of
skills.
all,
These are the things that Naz, like I would do because like I've sewn up my pillows and stuff after the dog chews them. And then Naz would be like, Ashley, why did you just buy a new pillow?
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is why. Okay, so some people get. I mean, it's not lucky or unlucky, but we don't choose our parents. So some people get parents that like are the same as them, like in values and in everything. And you and I couldn't be more opposite.
Really?
In everything, I think.
I think you've picked up a few of our
No,
traits.
obviously we're similar, but like we would do things and go about our lives completely differently.
Well, if you look at the videos of you
Wait,
as
first
younger,
of all,
no,
I
let's
made
go
my
there.
dad.
Let's go to those
not
videos.
go there. I made dinner for my dad, which you guys know I don't really cook.
Okay.
And then we went to go get ice cream, and it was next to this pizza place. And he's like, "Oh, that pizza looks so good." And I'm like, "See, why did I make dinner?"
Well, I mean, you can be hungry right
got
after
pizza.
dinner, too. Your
Yeah.
dinner was awesome. Thank you for the salmon.
What'd you make?
I made salmon, rice, and zucchini.
Oh, see, that's why he needed pizza. That's too healthy.
Yeah.
My dad will come home from being out to dinner and be like, I'm hungry.
And he'll make like a sausage.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's Dad.
you guys eat. I don't get why dads eat so much. I literally, like, just having to feed you costs so much money. I don't know how mom does
sorry
it.
about that. I'll leave some on the table for you. But I also think that a skill set that is crucial, I think essential, is regardless of gender, every mom and every dad should throw a ball with their children. That is it. You calculate what's called a cycloid. You know what mass is. You know how to receive a ball. And that translates into tremendous benefits later on. The ability to drive, the assimilation of technical things, hanging a frame on a wall, all of that, just by throwing a baseball. And I think you get away. I deliberately set time with our son, who's with us, Christopher, every 2 weeks. And it takes 10 minutes. We just throw a ball in the silence of our backyard. We have a very large backyard. We just throw a ball and don't say anything. And the ball, it speaks for us,
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's so great. And you can develop very, very highly polished skills doing that.
Coordination.
Sure. Your motor skills. So I think that's good. And finally, I don't get, for example, I tell my wife, we go to church a lot. I say, oh, that's fine, good. But we, meaning me, needs to put it into more action. In other words, there used to be a program where you volunteered to hold babies that were very sick at the hospital years ago. My wife will sometimes go into our church, which is very close, and just clean the bathrooms in the church. Things like that. They take half an hour. They take perhaps feeding the homeless.
So what's the I don't get it?
So to put in more time to help society.
So you don't get why people don't volunteer.
Yeah, I think.
But I think people do volunteer all the time.
They do, but I'm saying to put
faith into practice.
Exactly.
You don't get why people don't put their faith. Okay,
cool. I love that.
I think it's just read a book to a child. Sit under a tree, go fishing. Fishing, even though it. I wasn't.
This is the ultimate stream of
I wasn't enamored with it. Wow, patience, quiet.
I love fishing.
Solitude, respect, nature. We would remember the fish? We would throw the welcome mat over it because it would be flopping to calm it down, put its flipper down, and then gently remove its hook.
And then throw
but
it
then
back
we
in
make
the water.
them fly, right? Because they never experienced flight. So we would throw them 50 feet in the air. And then,
Oh, my God.
And you put them back?
Yeah, we put them
Yeah,
back.
we
You just throw them back into the water.
But we would throw them high so they would
Yeah.
experience flight.
Wow, Dad. What a gift you gave to the fish.
I have one question. As someone who doesn't read at all, don't have that gift, what is the first book you would recommend to a reader?
The Bible.
You
You knew that was coming.
Got
you
it.
were going to say it.
I think
It was so literally we were talking the other day and my dad was like talking about God and I was like, Dad, we're in LA. No one believes in God here.
But he believes in you.
You needed to.
that he believes in. And the only reason I say that is because simply the act of having, owning, and opening, even you may be at your first steps, infancy, of not understanding it, is an act of faith. That's what I mean. Okay. We have a belief in the Latin community that simply opening it, leaving it opening without reading to any page near the door is an act of protection because the words are real, powerful, and they're not a regular book.
I love it.
But what do you think about an Ouija board?
What about a
Is it-
Ouija board?
No.
First of all, you want to hear this? So remember the pizza that my dad got after I made
don't
dinner?
go there.
It was called Lucifer's, and my dad's like, I don't know if I can
Drive
have
away.
this
Drive away. Let's get out of
pizza. Are
here.
you fucking kidding me?
Now, my ex Jack, we lived in LA obviously together, but he was like, pretty religious, and he would never go to Lucifer's, the pizza place.
Yeah, me
he was like, I am not going in there. I
Me
don't care how
either.
good the pizza
I
is.
was terrified just parking in
Yeah,
front
right.
of it.
You ate that pizza so fast. Don't even
Who's
lie.
the marketing person for that?
Guess-
oh, my.
Guess you're not going to
No,
heaven,
you're
Dad.
inviting evil. Oh, no. I would just, no.
It's
no.
it's gluttfully good.
Yeah, it's so good. Anyways, so
Well,
then,
it's funny because now, like, my I don't get it's are just like the most meaningful BS ever.
no,
like nothing.
No, I want you to say yours. I just want to share a
Well,
story.
I only
with you
have
guys.
one, which I already teased on my Instagram this week.
Oh, what is
I mean,
it?
guys, the balance beam is the ultimate I don't get it to me.
Oh, in the Olympics.
Yeah, just these girls are flipping multiple times and landing their little feet on the 3-inch beam.
I know that's actually. Well, you did gymnastics, right, Ash?
Until 6th grade.
I did like cartwheels on them. We didn't
Yeah.
flip our bodies over. But
No,
Oh,
it's
I felt
actually
cool if I got a
insane.
cartwheel on it.
It's actually
Yeah.
insane, and I feel the same way about skateboarding. Like how you fly in the air and then it flips and you land on this like little
Yeah.
piece of wood with wheels on
Yeah.
it.
Well,
It's
I had
insane.
11 engine shutdowns at 41,000 feet, but, you know.
What does that mean?
He was a pilot.
Well, I know.
When both of your engines shut down, you have to gang start them, as it's called, and attempt to recover very quickly because you're losing altitude. So I had on a 4-engine aircraft, I had 1 engine out, but the passengers didn't even notice because it's so smooth. But you have events which you take them very, very calmly because that's how you're trained to do, to handle the circumstance at the moment. And you rely completely on training. I remember telling Naz, I said, if we ever get into some of my skill sets, weapons and things like that, muscle memory is what does it for you. No thinking. You just repeat it 1,200 times and you're able to do something, from...
What do you think
reaction.
about the balance beam in the Olympics?
Yes, I think it's incredibly dangerous. They obviously have it down pat because they don't have a lot of accidents, but if they were to fall off of that, it'd be catastrophic.
Yeah. What do you think about the Olympics in general?
I think they're a beautiful thing. They're a wonderful coming together of all nations. I think some of the pride has been lost and some of the energy and the feeling people used to have to watch the Olympics. The polish of it is gone, probably because of the climate in the world today. But I
What's
also
your favorite
believe,
event?
track and field, running. It's a human.
Yeah, my dad used to run a lot.
Oh.
Used to be a runner.
There are some very interesting I don't know if they're new, sports, but rock climbing is now an Olympic sport.
Skateboarding's now Olympic. They added a bunch of new stuff, which is so
crazy,
cool, I think.
weird things on there, but it's so cool. I was watching rock climbing the other day. These people are literally upside down climbing up. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, absolutely insane.
That's so insane.
Yeah,
Mr. Perez,
Ma'am.
I want to hear about your week moving, Naz, because my dad has moved me a number of times, and we always have fights because we're not agreeing on how to move or where to put what.
Yeah.
So did you have any experiences like that this
Great
week?
questions. God bless you. Look, that to me
Dad.
is fascinating.
Oh
When
my
people
God.
say, you may not be impressed by it, but I am. Anyway, I think it's a fabulous question. My intent in any endeavor, whether it's a move or whether it's painting a house, is don't have mission creep. Stay focused on what you do. So the intent is not to have everything packed nicely in a box or prevent anything from breaking or wrap every single dish. You will be involved in the minutia for so long that you'll forget that you need to move. Now, to her credit, Naz pulled off, I think, a magic trick. She said, Dad, I will be moved in and I will be completely unboxed all in the same day. Now, I've moved 40 times. I've moved maybe 40, and I mean that literally, maybe 50 times. First of all, in the service, after 20 years, we would move every 18 months because the service orders required it. But on our own, after retirement, Jackie and I moved many places. We've owned 13, 14 homes. And one of the things that I always made it a passion is get the boxes, get the furniture in, do one massive move, and then pick up with all the little things. Put everything in a box. Now, there's a difference between moving and then packing and moving. And there are services which do that for you. Every glass and in my mind, it takes too long. To answer your question directly, she said,
This is literally, Dad, you got to get to the point quicker.
No, it's amazing, Naz.
to put background.
Not
Yeah.
everything needs
Anyway.
We need context.
She said, let's go. Let's get the kitchen. She did it. Of course, we hired some people to assist us. And she was, I think it's 2 hours and 5 minutes to do the whole house. I assisted them. And then 2 hours and 30 minutes to unload us here. And by 9 p.m., we already had photos and paintings up. Now, you don't really realize how much humans accumulate until you move.
Yeah, we have so,
And
as
it's
one
really
person,
too
I have
much.
so much shit.
Too much.
But when you came and you landed, you were packed. First of all, my dad was packing. He doesn't bubble wrap everything, which we disagreed on. You're like, it's just moving here to there. And I'm like, yeah, but if it all breaks in the truck, then I have to buy all new glasses.
Well, obviously, if it's crystal, you do a little bit, but you throw a
You were terrible. You're terrible
a
at
pillow
packing.
in between. And,
Terrible
yes.
at packing boxes.
That's
like
how you do it. You put your sheets in between all the,
Yeah,
the
that's what my dad
important
wanted to
shit.
do. Not
Yeah.
my sheets,
But,
not my pillows.
But stay mission focused. Accomplish the mission.
No.
Get it
So,
done.
anyways, my
rather
dad's
than
like,
pack.
it's fine. We're going to be unboxing till next Thursday. I was like, no, we're not. I'm going to be completely done. Literally completely done the day we are in the move. And I always am because I hate boxes lying around. So I had like the internet guy come, the people drop off the mattress, and a guy come mount my TV and hang everything in the same day. So that night, literally, Ashley, like everything is done. Like it's
That is
all
so
done.
awesome.
How did you know where you're going to put everything?
Because I had come into the apartment before and I sort of like just made, I
Yeah,
was like,
you
that's
have a
going to go
good
there, that's going to
visual-
go there, that's going to go there.
visualize, Yeah.
So
Even
we're
the
done.
TV mounted, we had to buy another mount. That's another thing. You just order online like every day.
Yeah, my dad, first of all,
Amazon
I
shows
ordered a mount from Home Depot.
Don't people shop anymore? I don't get
And my
it.
dad's like, I'm going to get out of the car. And I was like, no, you don't. I already ordered it. I just have to go to the pickup. And he's like, what? And I'm like, how do you not utilize these services? Like, you don't order anything on Amazon? You don't order and then just like
That's
pick
a
it up?
relatively new concept that's been exacerbated with the pandemic, So, but yes, we ordered things, but you would order a cake. You wouldn't order a furniture.
Yeah, like if I'm going to Home Depot, I'll check to see if it's in store, but I don't like put it on reserve. I'll just go in and find it.
Oh, no, I like...
But if you're trying to accomplish the impossible, like Naz, you got to order things and have a time for pickup. That's how you.
I
That's
don't
want
to drive to Home Depot and them not have the thing I want. That's like
Yes,
such a
that's what I'm
waste
saying.
of time for me.
Yes.
Check to see if it's in stock.
But then don't you get nervous? What if they only have one and then someone buys it like the next day and then you show up and it's not there anymore? Don't you just want to like claim it and have them
what
put it on the
happens?
side?
What is the worst case scenario?
Then I have to wait like 4 days for my mount.
Obsessive compulsive. See?
It's not OCD, Dad. I think it's just impatience and anxiety, which I
think
got
it's more
from you.
controlling.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Your timing
which-
is excellent.
Well,
though.
controlling is like
You bracket everything
what people
very
do when
well.
they have anxiety, right? Is like try and just like get everything done right
Well,
away.
some anxiousness is good for you. It spurs you on. It gives you initiative. It allows you. But you have a talent for just compartmentalizing your day. I leave some buffer because I know life isn't just black and white and precise. So, in my mind, the way I have adjusted our life to all circumstances is, okay, I know that I need to be at this place at a certain time. I'm going to leave 3 hours earlier rather than, precisely
Why
there.
do you got like even the airport?
I put an
You
hour
want
When I
be
get
at
to the airport, I
so
get
early.
10 a.m. flight, I'm there at 7 a.m.
That
or
makes
6 a.m.
no. What are you doing? You're just
Well, I
sitting,
can't
taking
sleep the
up
night
terminal
before.
space.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
We
you
have
are.
we have a dad on the podcast to discuss why they all leave 4 hours early. This is incredible.
Yeah, it's the worst. My dad's in the car. I remember when we were little. It's like, what? He's like, sleep in the car. Take a nap in the car. You'll sleep on the plane. Let's go. Let's go. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Or going to the beach. One time I actually left all of you because your mother was doing, we have to prepare spaghetti. What?
Wait,
Spaghetti
let's
for the
talk,
beach?
let's talk about how fucking weird this is, you guys.
No, I left.
Is that a Dominican thing or a Latin thing?
No, I
When
just
we went
left.
to the beach, my mom made spaghetti.
Yeah, that's weird.
We ate
That's not a
and
beach
chicken.
food.
hot spaghetti at the beach. Is that a Dominican?
That's not even
Yeah,
a Dominican food.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's so true.
Exactly. Why was that just our family?
Every family does it.
What?
Spaghetti is the fastest thing to put together. So
Is that why? But why would anyone want to eat like that much carbs on the beach?
It's
No wonder
filling.
I would-
It's good. You don't have to buy something there.
Yeah, I know that was the reason. That's also
But
why
you
mom
prepare the
snuck
night
snacks in the
before
movie
is the
theater.
time. If you're going, you prepare. You do a few. I get it. We put food together, but you're preparing a whole dish. Well, the sun's going down by the time you go to the beach.
It was. That's a big.
get
I don't
there
get. I don't get
early.
why we ate spaghetti on the beach. It's the fucking
Naz, I
weirdest
can't believe
thing.
this. I don't get it is coming out now.
I totally forgot about that until we
That's all
talked.
we did
I
was-
probably
Like
tried to
sandwiches?
block it out of my
Now,
head.
That's the
Naz, when did you
traditional
realize that was odd? Like in your older years,
I
or when
know.
you were eating spaghetti on the beach?
I've always been a black sheep in my family. Like I am so different than my dad, my brother, and my mom. You guys are all the same. I've always known that it was weird.
No, actually, you're
Lauren
the
would
off
never
one.
be
You're
okay
the
with
weird
this.
one.
Oh, I'm the weird
Yeah,
one.
we're normal.
Oh, okay. Got it. You guys live in
If
Florida.
my parents ever gave Lauren spaghetti on the, did it have red sauce?
yeah,
Yeah.
I had meatballs.
And-
Meatballs and red
Or
sauce.
chicken.
In the spaghetti?
Yeah.
No,
chicken.
there was never chicken.
Yeah,
in the
chicken
spaghetti.
in the spaghetti.
Not the one I ate.
Lauren, could you imagine if I was making you spaghetti for the beach? How
I'd be
much you
so
would
mad at you. I'd be like, no, we're gonna
mad.
buy like hot dogs, lobster rolls, something like that. I don't know.
Salad.
So random.
Like even like a cheeseburger or something. Popsicles.
Okay, I have. I think I wrote a list in my phone of some things. Are you done, Dad? Are you done with your
Yes,
list?
I'm done.
Okay.
I just have
I would love to
one.
discover more about this childhood, though.
Oh, I did write this down. On the first day I got my keys for the apartment, we didn't have the movers that day, but you know when that happens, you're like, let me move a couple small things, right?
Yeah.
And you guys know I'm still like, I had laryngitis 2 weeks ago and I still have a really bad dry cough and I like haven't really slept. So my dad's like, let's go to CVS and I'll get you
don't tell
cough
that
medicine.
one. That was a mistake.
And this was like the big day where we had the apartment. We were going to move a bunch of stuff, you know, like get stuff over here early. Like we were going to really hit the ground running. So I take the cough medicine and I'm like so tired.
I took some, too.
And my dad took some too. I look at the box.
It was
and
very
we got
little.
fucking nighttime.
And they wrote it
drowsy ass medicine.
so small.
We were so drowsy the whole day because you bought nighttime because you
Yeah.
didn't read the
But
box.
no, I read it. It was tiny. They put it so you can buy it. That's why.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Anyways.
that's funny.
Okay. So, and I don't get it that I have was, and I would never be where I am today had you named me this as a child.
Hortense.
My dad wanted to name me Hortense.
That's so bad.
Hortense?
But
Hortense.
Like
to
a
all the
whore.
Hortenses out there, it's a beautiful name.
It's like a
Where
royal.
is that from?
It's like a
I got it
royal
from-
French name.
I got it from
and my mom was like,
Bugs Bunny.
"Oh, what?
Yeah, from a cartoon.
You wanted to name-"
Naz.
My mom was like, we're gonna." What did Mom say?
She
like,
said, I'm out of here. She would pack their bags.
She was like, "We're not naming our daughter that." Can you imagine if my name was Hortense?
Oh my god, you were just begging for like ridicule then.
Dad, that's terrible.
What would that be shortened to?
Whore, Ashley.
Whore.
Oh, I didn't
Obviously.
think of that.
Yeah. Dad, you like I don't understand why you like the weirdest names. My first pet was a goldfish named Gertrude.
Right, or basil.
Why did
basil,
you- why do you
because
like
basil
weird
is so good when you
names?
season. So, I'm going to name my kid that.
He names things basil, paprika, Gertrude.
Yeah, Paprika,
Hortense.
get off those people's grass.
Like, can you imagine? Like, thank God
I
you and
can't
Mom
get over
aren't
the fact
having.
that you just explained
Paprika,
how
did
great
you do your
basil is.
homework
I know,
today?
it's like, well, obviously I'm going to name my kid Basil because it's great for seasoning.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Okay. Another thing I don't get is you and Mom, and you're doing a great job now, so I commend you.
Oh, not before?
You and Mom speak at such a high octave where you're yelling. He's in the car and he's like saying things to me, and I go, Dad, why are you yelling? I'm right here.
Yeah, we don't realize that. You're right.
You and Mom are so loud.
I know.
Well,
we have to
Naz,
watch
you're
it.
pretty loud too.
Yeah.
I am, but like not like in a car, Ashley. Like when I'm driving next to you, I'm not like, Ashley, let's go get Burger King. Like I'm like, Ashley, let's go get Burger King.
I know. We don't realize the
half the time.
volume.
Half the time.
Oh, am I?
I could
Well,
imagine you'd
great.
be like, why don't we get it now?
Great. Well, okay. Thanks a lot, Dad.
Sorry.
It's okay. Great
I yell
quality.
'cause of you.
Great quality. I'd rather you be yelling at me than softly whispering.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Well,
Dad.
as the car next to me just runs, I have to ask this related question. Mr. Perez, do you feel like you have become more dramatic with age? Like everything is just kind of like a bigger deal because our parents have.
Yes, I think over time we escalate everything to a priority. Everything has equal importance, and it's not a firefight. It's not. It's we have to. Yeah, we don't.
Do you have an example
I'm
of
not
something
great
you've done?
at doing that. Well, for example, the grass could wait, but if I have an opportunity, I'll go ahead and do it. And Jackie will go, "Where is he? He's out." He disappeared. And
No,
I'll
you
just
would think
take
that'd
4
be the
hours.
opposite. Like you live your life, you realize everything's not that important. You know, everything's.
But
chill.
I think the fear is that if I leave it for tomorrow, tomorrow will have its own set of issues. And we can only plan about 35% of our day. The rest is fighting contingency. They say the average manager at an office handles over 400 to 500 different emails and probably about 30 different projects a day. So tomorrow will bring its own set. So to me, although it's refreshing and good, even though it's in the sun to cut grass, I also think it's essential so that I don't leave it for tomorrow, because then if something interrupts it, I may not get to it for another 5 days.
But I agree with Ashley. I think everything is so dramatic and everything is like such a big thing to you and Mom. And it's like, relax.
I know, but that's how we
Like
accomplish. That's how we navigate our world.
You're coming to retirement. Like, relax.
I know, but here I went up 140-something times, boxes, because my knees hurt. But if I wouldn't have had that drive, we wouldn't have gotten this place, moved in the same day. So in some measure, it is productive. It is something positive. You're so right.
Thank you, Ashley. My dad, you say like very funny, not like funny phrases, but like
people's names are all wrong. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you do mispronounce things. He keeps saying Billie Eilish.
Okay, well that's very understandable.
But he does that like with multiple
Eilish.
things. He does that with like so many things. My dad, like, you know how I was waiting for him to get off the plane or whatever, and like you wait for the text for when you're picking someone up from the airport, you're waiting for the text for them to say, "I just landed."
Yeah.
My dad, you say everything in like military terms. So I go, "Dad, did you land?" And he goes, "Yes, waiting to disembark." I'm like, "Dad, you're not on a fighter jet.
Yeah, well,
you are on a Delta
Yeah,
airplane."
but I feel like you need all of these texts. Otherwise, where are you now? Disembarking, going through the telescopic jetway. You know, that's something like that.
Yeah, it's like waiting for them to let us off the plane.
Yeah. Anyways, what else did I write down? Why did I write down? Oh my God, my dad doesn't wear deodorant.
Oh no. I
It
think
is stinky.
It is
not at all. As a matter of
foul.
fact, no.
It is foul.
No, it isn't.
No,
But do you actually smell him?
No, I don't smell
but
myself.
like I think it's gross to him to just go about life without wearing
Let me
deodorant.
tell you why. About 30 years ago, and I don't give off a smell. 30 years, unless I'm really sweating or so.
Well, you do smell sometimes.
Well, when I'm doing activity or something. But about 30 years ago, I made a conscious decision not to, because I thought day after day, negligence after negligence, the chemical, 40% of everything you put on your skin, it's a living organ, will absorb through there. And you're talking about into your breast and that area. So I made a conscious decision that even if it was natural, I wouldn't put it on there. So we just don't use it.
Anyway.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Love it.
Well, then how do you feel about Naz wearing makeup?
I think it's beautiful. She's something. She's a pumpkin.
But you don't think it's absorbing into her skin?
Yeah, you don't think it's absorbing into my skin?
I've always said that lipstick and everything. My wife sometimes does her hair. She colors it, and I think some of it is absorbed. I mean, it would be nice to see if someone came up with some type of history or documentation on the effects. It has to have an effect on you, year after year.
And then my dad has a lot of random facts I also wrote down, but it's because So at 5,
my head's full of stuff. Yeah.
at 5, my dad was in a coma because he had spinal meningitis
What?
for
Yeah.
6 months.
my God.
So he missed so when he got out of the coma, he missed the whole school year. So my grandma just made him read the encyclopedia. So that's why and I also think you're on the spectrum a little bit, but
Yeah.
I don't want to self-diagnose. Oh, that's another, I don't get it. You self-diagnose everything. My dad's like, I had COVID. I'm like, oh, you did? Did you get tested? He's like, no, but I knew. And I'm like, no. And he does that about everything. You self-diagnose yourself for everything, and it doesn't make sense to me.
You don't
Just
need
go
to
to
be
the doctor.
a doctor to talk about medicine, just to practice it. You know enough. You know enough after living with yourself. And besides, the military, the Veterans Administration, required me to take the Pfizer shots. So if I got it after and I got a bad version of it, it was probably regular COVID or the strain, you know.
Anyway.
We got to go back to your coma.
Yes,
so
I
you
was
were
a
in
young, November 22nd, 1963, monumental period in the history of the United States. That was the day in Dallas at 12:31 p.m. where our president was assassinated, John Kennedy. That morning, my mom went to pick me up. Why it was coincidental, I don't know. She woke me, she shook me, come on, we're going to school. We lived in a 5th-floor tenement apartment, 84th Street, Manhattan, New York. Working family, no elevator. And my mom didn't drive. My father had just gone to work. Long story short, she had a baby the week before, my brother, on the 16th. She realized and panicked as a mom that he's not waking up. So I was completely catatonic to the world. So she shook me, and nothing. So she packaged me in a blanket. It was the dead of winter. She took the baby, ran down, flagged down a bus. I wound up at Luke's General Hospital in Columbia University, 178th, 174th Street.
Okay,
Anyway,
and the
20
point of the
years
story
later, 20 years later, we looked at the archives. We asked our physician to look at it, and I had a very severe case of spinal meningitis. Now, meninges are the 3 layers that covered the brain, the layers of skin. And most people don't survive it. But as a consequence of that, I think I was altered. For 3 years after that, they put probes and things. I was on a slab. Doctors with white coats, and they did oscillations, my brainwave activity. But Naz is right. Some of that is autism. Some of that resulted from the meningitis. But I tend to retain a lot of data. For example, I'm not good at some things, but yet I'm good at, quantum mechanics. And I don't know why that's wired and why I understand things that are so high level just in that area. But I have trouble, sometimes washing the dishes. You know what I'm saying? So while on the one hand it's been a blessing, on the other hand, I think it's, a double-edged sword.
Very.
And that's my dad, everyone. I love.
But I was able to fly. I got in the military. I crashed in a helicopter.
Dad,
I went to
you
combat.
did a lot of
Maybe-
great things.
Raised 2 children,
Maybe that's
and
why,
with
yeah.
wonderful friends like
What a
Like
fan-
Ashley
Ashley
and
and
Lauren.
Lauren.
They're my sisters
What
I
a
never
fantastic
had. I love you,
podcast,
Dad.
And
Thank you.
it was
I
an
love you
honor
too.
Being on the
to get-
podcast.
Aw.
Thank you for being in
Dad,
Naz's
well,
speak
orbit.
in the
thank
mic.
us,
No,
but
thank you for being in Naz's orbit.
Yes.
Her friends.
And it was an honor to
Thank
get
you
to
for
know you in this
creating
way.
her.
Oh,
You're such an
that's
interesting,
wonderful.
sweet man.
Oh, I hope we get to meet you. And thank you. Oh, you're so
Yes,
great.
I
We
can't wait
love
to meet
you
her too one day.
Hi from Jackie, my wife.
Aw.
Yeah, I would like
We all have to
So
go
different.
down to Florida and meet down in Florida.
Yeah,
yeah,
she's a
you
powder
got-
keg.
My mom's my mom's complete opposite. Oh, I guess I should ask you what do you think is the secret to your and mom's marriage?
The glue that holds us together is our faith in God, our faith in
Okay.
Jesus. Yeah.
Love it. I knew that's what you were going to say.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Bye,
thanks be
guys.
to God, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
Bye, guys. Thank you for
Bye-bye.
having me. God bless you.
If you want to be the most interesting person at the cocktail party, well, hop on over and listen to the Brain Candy podcast.
Our award-winning content will have you laughing while you're learning.
We read all the best articles, books, and studies and keep up with new TV shows, documentaries, and pop culture. And then we cram it all into 2 shows a week.
Conspiracy theories, cannibal rabbits, unsolved mysteries, the history of the Walkman. There's something for everyone.
The Brain Candy podcast. Find our link in the show notes.
Or simply search for the Brain Candy podcast on your podcast app.
I don't get it.
Podcast.